Coming up on this week's episode of Airborne Flight Training, Piedmont Flight Training upgrades fleet with Pipistrel Alpha trainers, Rod Machado Art of Takeoffs and Landings E-Course, and Bristol Sports CFI program puts pilots to work ASAP. Welcome to Airborne Flight Training, a weekly news program dedicated to all things flight training, as well as the amazing industry built around it. There's no segment more important to the growth of the aviation world than the flight training community. I'm Sophie Herlock. North Carolina's Piedmont Flight Training has taken delivery of the first of 5 Pipistrel Alpha trainers for an aggressive upgrade to their flight training operations. With a pilot shortage at a historic high, Piedmont Flight Training is fulfilling the need to attract and train future aviators with exceptional instruction and outstanding aircraft. With a ballistic aircraft parachute system, quiet and ultra-fuel efficient engines, and state-of-the-art technology, this aircraft has won rave reviews globally and will likely follow suit locally as the Piedmont Triad takes off to greater heights in aviation. Further, Piedmont Flight Training seeks to be a learning hub that reinvigorates the region's passion for innovation in aviation, offering special discount programs to Piedmont Airline alumni and their family members, residents living within 1 mile of the airport, military personnel and veterans, and county and city municipal employees. We'll be right back with the rest of the news.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
There's never been a better time to become a pilot. At the Sling Pilot Academy, you can get your private, commercial, and instrument ratings in 9 months for less than $63,000 and do it in modern, fun airplanes. Your flight training is going to be as exciting as your future career as an airline pilot. slingpilotacademy.com.
Welcome back. It's time for today's trip around the patch. Anna Stanfield of DeLand, Florida, was awarded the 5th Martha King Scholarship for Female Flight Instructors during the annual Women in Aviation International Conference in Orlando. The scholarship is valued at over $18,000 and consists of $5,000 cash towards obtaining an initial flight instructor certificate or added ratings and free lifetime access to all King Schools courses, including flight instructor refresher courses. The FAA will not take enforcement action against certain pilots or flight engineers who fly with medical certificates that expire between March 31st and June 30th of 2020. COVID-19 is placing a severe burden on the U.S. healthcare system. Requiring pilots to undergo in-person medical examinations would further stress the healthcare system and would increase the risk of transmitting the virus through personal contact between the doctor and applicant. The next Public Safe CFI Pro program is available to all June 10th and 11th at Sporty's Pilot Shop. Whether you're new to aviation education or a seasoned veteran, this learning opportunity will reinvigorate your teaching and accelerate your mastery and proficiency with new ideas and techniques. This workshop will also include a catalog of extended envelope maneuvers designed to rebuild basic skills and move pilots out of their narrow comfort zone. The Flight School Association of North America states it has and always will encourage flight schools to deploy safety, security, and best practices as their top priority. Each flight school has their own unique set of operational practices to follow based on a variety of items including but not limited to location. FASANA encourages all flight schools to comply with the Department of Homeland Security's CISA agency definition of critical infrastructure and all state executive orders. Due to member concerns, NAFI has reached out to the FAA seeking relief for flight instructors whose certificates were to expire March 31st. In letters to the Director of FAA Flight Standards Office and the Manager of Airman Training and Certification Branch, NAFI Board Chairman Bob Metter requested the same type of temporary regulatory relief for flight instructor certificates that would expire on March 31st, as well as recently given for medical certificates and Part 135 qualifications. NAFI received a rapid response, and the FAA says it's well aware of this and many other issues affecting general aviation. We'll be right back with the rest of the news. Just because you may be sheltering at home during the COVID-19 pandemic doesn't mean you can't still sharpen your flying skills. Rod Machado is offering an e-learning course, The Art of Takeoffs and Landings, a series of videos lasting just under 8 hours. Every flight starts with a takeoff and ends with a landing. Yet many pilots lack the fundamentals to do them consistently because they weren't properly taught or they haven't practiced enough to be proficient, Machado stated. Some of the techniques Machado teaches are unique, while others you may be familiar with, but Machado often puts a different spin on them or provides an example that suddenly makes things crystal clear. The course is broken into 6 segments: takeoffs and climbs, approaching to land, the round out and the flare, crossed winds and slips, advanced landing concepts, and pitch and power flying concepts. The Sebring Flight Academy, using Bristol flight training aircraft, has come up with a plan to get student pilots to the point of being working pilots in a near record time and at a greatly reduced cost. While a number of full-blown Zero to Hero programs are available, with SFA being one of them, their fast-track LSA instructor program takes a future pilot from zero time to the minimum 150 hours required for a sport pilot CFI, with a program that has a base price of just over $40,000. And while you will still eventually need to get all the additional ratings to get to the airlines, this gets a student into a paying job and building flight time in as little as 4 months. And that wraps up this week's program. Don't forget to click subscribe and to check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. For the latest aviation aerospace news any time of the day, head over to aero-news.net. Airborne Flight Training is pleased to partner with the Society of Aviation and Flight Educators, the Flight School Association of North America, and Master Instructors LLC. We also welcome other potential information partners to apply to join the team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you Friday for an episode of Airborne Unlimited.